abandoned the conversation halfway through, but I'm fucking fuming on the inside and I'm really disappointed. And I have seen some colors of people this week that I didn't fucking know humans could see. You know how they say that the human eye can only see a certain spectrum of colors in the world? Apparently, I've been looking at people within that spectrum, and now finally we can see like infrared and ultraviolet of those people, which is interesting. It's interesting, as Arthur would put it. Hey, Maddie. Gonna stay as calm as possible. The holy balls. Yeah, I feel you. I'm really fucking disappointed. I'm also really. Do you know what else disappoints me? Like, I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm not gonna fucking name who it was because the situation's getting fucking handled big time. But I feel so frustrated and so disappointed for one of my really I have a friend who I've known for a very, very long time. He's a really awesome dude. He works so fucking hard. Not once has he ever been inappropriate remotely. Not once. He's one of like the most lovely people you'll ever meet. And his business partner was an acquaintance of mine who I had met for like, you know, Twitch opportunity stuff, just like one of those like startup companies or something. And fucking, you're following people on Twitter, right? Just as a little scenario to illustrate the type of bullshittery that occurs in this industry. You're following people on Twitter, people like me, who periodically, every now and again, will specifically tweet out an instance of some behavior that has happened to them that is unacceptable. For example, the number of times that I've tweeted about how unacceptable it is to provide unsolicited dick pics in DMs to people, I could probably still count on one hand, but you know, it's a thing that exists.
Almost 2
Sorry to
years.
interrupt. No
Sorry
problem.
to interrupt,
Thank you, Rocca. Thank you. So, like, you know, I've tweeted at times about how inappropriate unsolicited dick pics are and how much I hate them and how you know, they don't particularly cause me too much grief. It's just I don't want to see that. Like, I don't have any reason to have that on my mobile device in front of me while I'm trying to have breakfast. You know what I mean? And so, like, when you're following other women or people, because apparently it happens to anybody, you're following these people who complain about this behavior so you can see it. You know that behavior is unacceptable because people literally tell you in your newsfeed on the regular how unacceptable that shit is. I mean, it's kind of a given anyway. Like, you would think, or if I just randomly send a dick pic to this person, it's like, that's probably not cool. But given the fact that people explicitly tell you that it's not cool in passing, you know, where you exist around the internet, why the fuck would you actually do that to people?
You know, I can be an adult because of you. Thank you.
Why
Almost
would
2
you do
years.
that when
Sorry
you
to interrupt
literally
less than
follow
3.
people who keep telling you consistently how unacceptable and inappropriate that behavior is? I don't understand. The fuck? Almost 2 years, sorry to interrupt. Hey, mods. Thank you. Is it a crime in Australia? Because sending these pics is a crime in Germany. Really? Because I mean, like, between two consensual people, I totally get it. I understand. Like, you do you, boo-boo. That's fine. But if it's non-consensual, you're literally, you might as well just, you know, do the whole jacket opening thing in public exposure, right? It's the same fucking thing. It's the same fucking thing. So, like, I don't know. I just can't, like, when I heard that had happened, when I heard that this was one of the guys who got called out and, like, what he had done, I was just like, but we follow each other on Twitter, bro. You've seen the amount of times I've complained about people who do exactly that thing. So why the fuck would you go and do that exact fucking thing? What? What comes over these people? What is going through your head, dude? What is going through your head? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand it at all. And I felt so terrible for my friend because he literally had no fucking idea that any of this stuff was going on. Like when I first met that guy, like obviously I feel really comfortable around my friend. I think he's awesome and he's wonderful and super polite. He's always been absolutely lovely and I feel super safe with him. I feel really comfortable with him. When I met his business partner, I was like, I don't know. I have a weird gut feeling about this guy, but like, it's whatever. It's the gaming industry. I guess I just happen to have my defenses up just because I exist in this space because that's kind of what I have to do. Turns out my gut instinct was correct, apparently. So, you know, but it's rude to just come out and be like, hey, listen, I've got a really bad gut feeling about this person who you've entered a business thing with. Sorry, I know it's kind of weird, but like, do you know what I mean? I mean, a lot of people have a good radar. A lot of people do. You just don't trust it because you think like, oh, but is it weird for me to call this out? Is that me being rude? Is that me being jealous? Is that me like being bitter that someone has opportunities I don't have? All that kind of shit. That's why people don't talk about that stuff. Like fuck, there was another guy who I always kept at arm's length. I never particularly, I think, you know, I knew of him in passing. We never really met. But, you know, acquaintance in the industry type deal. Now, this fucking guy who got called out as well for being an absolute twat, at one point he, this was one of the big red flags for me. He came out and kind of like launched a couple of products online, some new like products to help new streamers, right? And the first product was essentially a carbon copy of another website called Linktree, right? You guys are probably going to be able to guess which ones I'm talking about. But I'm just going to tell this story anyway because this is the type of red flag that I happened to notice that made me just like, okay, that's kind of weird. I'm going to be like professionally courteous with this person, but I'm not going to get close or involved with them in any way as a friend whatsoever. So just a little bit tweak, just a little bit since we're on the subject. Anyway, this guy released a website that was essentially literally a carbon copy of another website called Linktree, right? So I was like, oh, that's weird. I mean, like this shit already exists. I don't know why the fuck you would have to make the same thing and then just rebrand it for streamers. Anyway, so then after that, I was like, whatever. No one else is questioning it. What you do, you, boo. If you can make money from shit like that, that's fine. Whatever, you do you. Or if you want to spend your time doing that, that's fine. Then he came out with another product that was similar, which was essentially a carbon copy of Bitly. And I'm like, this is literally Bitly, right? Like you've basically taken the concept and the technology that exists for Bitly and then just like rebranded it to be attractive to like gamers or something. And apparently a couple of people were like, oh, this is cool because it gives me some features that are behind a paywall on Bitly or whatever. But I have never experienced that with Bitly. It's a website that shortens links. So if you have like a ridiculously long link to share like a spreadsheet on Google or something like that, you can shorten that link to like, you know, bit.ly/Kerry spreadsheet or something. So Anyway, again, no one fucking said anything. Everybody, because he had a job at like a quite prominent, you know, companies in the industry, every fucking second person was like, this is amazing. Oh my God, I've always been looking for something like this, blah, 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 blah. This is incredible. And I was just like, I don't know, that's kind of fucking weird that you've done this twice now. Like, I just thought it was odd that someone would spend that much time doing that shit because there's already stuff that works that exists, right? So, yeah, I did. Hey, Jim. So, anyway, I felt this is what I'm getting at when people don't want to talk about stuff. I felt like an absolute shit cunt for even thinking it. But I was like, no one is questioning this, and it's really weird to me, and it's actually really fucking irritating me, the fact that no one has questioned this. So I went on his thread and I said, so like, is this product essentially like Bitly? It does the same thing that like Bitly does. And his response was something along the lines of like, and these tweets exist. I'm not going to bring them up on screen because fuck that. But his response in the way that I inferred it was essentially something along the lines of, yeah, it's essentially the same thing, but I'm doing it to like help out new streamers that don't know about these tools. So I was like, but you can do the same thing and save so much work by doing a PSA tweet that says, hey, people who are new to streaming, if you want help with some workflow stuff, these are some websites that I use that are really helpful to like do these particular tasks with. Why the fuck would you build two entirely new platforms that are literally the same thing, spend all this time branding them, and then just be like, here you go, you can use these if you're new to streaming, right? So I was like, that's a really strange reason to do that. So I basically replied and was like, okay, I get that, but like what? So I was just like, okay, so to clarify, these websites, these products don't necessarily provide me with anything additional to what I can already do on Linktree and Bitly. Correct? And his response, I shit you not, was essentially, yes, smiley face. Thanks for asking. These are the types of questions people need to know. And that's literally where I just fucking left it. And I was like, that's the weirdest fucking response I've ever heard to anything in my life. I don't think you have any fucking clue what you're doing. I think you're full of shit. And I'm just going to cease interacting with you. Goodbye. And then turns out this fucking asshole is an absolutely manipulative, gaslighty, like, no wonder the guy got a job in marketing, because he was just fucking marketing, if you don't know, is essentially like on some level some kind of manipulation. Marketing inherently is a thing that suggests that you need a particular product, or it's made to appeal to certain needs that you have to like use, you know, a particular headset or a particular fucking camera or a particular product. So it doesn't surprise me, the job that he ended up being able to get, because he was obviously brilliant at literally completely bullshitting people. I'm so glad that all of your responses are just like, question mark, I'm sorry, what the fuck, etc. Because that was literally my face. I still think about it to this day, because it irritates the fuck out of me when someone can't actually answer a question like that, honestly. X, but for gaming products is totally on brand with that. Yeah. But yeah, so I was just like, it irritated the fuck out of me that no one else could see that, or if other people were seeing it, that no one was calling it out. It's essentially like the entire Twitch Kittens situation, which, like, I used to be part of Twitch Kittens, but the second that I had red flags about it and distanced myself, like, I was like, yeah, cool, I'm going to use their hashtags and I'm going to make use of their pyramid scheme for a little bit. Of course I am. Who the fuck wouldn't? But that's like a whole nother story that I definitely suggest that you guys look into if you're into, you know, protecting yourself from fucking manipulation tactics. It's just like a stream team that exists that essentially turned into a circle jerk of sexy women, run by a man who was essentially running a porn ring in the background and manipulating thousands of women. Anyway, so, but essentially the premise for Twitch Kittens is like, it's kind of like one of those pyramid scheme, circle jerky communities. But the thing that literally, which, like, I knew going in, of course I did. Like, look at this, like, if you just look at the structure of it, even from the start, you're just like, okay, whatever, if you say so, kind of thing, right? Because it's like, use our Discord, interact in each other's channels, blah, 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 blah. Like, there was a zero organic, there was nothing related to, like, organic friendship crafting in that group. It was purely just like manipulating statistics and hijacking hashtags and shit like that. But the massive thing that I was just like, what the fuck, are you kidding me? And I was just like, no thanks. So I was like part of the team and using their hashtags a little bit, but I did not engage like whatsoever with any of their shit. Was the fact that like one of their rules somewhere, I can't remember exactly what it was, so like don't quote me on it, but one of the things that pinged in my mind as a red flag was like, oh, we'll pay you $5, and if you subscribe to, like, you essentially get priority boosting if you subscribe to the owner of the group's Twitch channel. The amount of people who legitimately fucking thought that this community was worth joining based off community, I'm a fucking, oh my God. If you are that fucking naive, dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I can't. Like, the second you see that shit, it's like, dude, yeah, if you know what you're getting into, go for it. But like, it was pretty transparent from the beginning that the shit was fucked. So, yeah, like this chick got so much fucking money. Well, I mean, her boyfriend, I guess, got shitloads of money, her ex. Does it still exist? I don't know. They probably fucking canned it at some point. Hey, Roomwords, what's up? They probably canned it in the past week when, you know, the boyfriend got fired and fucking lit up over Twitter for being, you know, the dude should be in jail, essentially. Like, forget about fucking innocent until proven guilty semantics. Like, the dude was doing some shit that should actually get him in trouble. So.
Can I buy a coffee now?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Does this sub come with priority boosting?
All right, thanks for the 11 months. Does this sub
Just
come with
asking for a
priority
friend.
boosting? Does it apply to the last 10 months? Everyone go follow Rise fam, go for it. Go fucking hit that bitch up. Follow everyone in the stream. Do it. Priority boosting. Yeah. Dude, I'm getting mad winter sweats. So if I'm just sitting like this, it's because I have put on literally half a can of deodorant and my pits are still sweating. And it's been irritating me for the last like month. My ladies know what I'm talking about because I've been complaining about it the whole time.
Them bitches in the booty hole.
But anyway, so that's like a few things that have come out recently that I'm just like, I see.
Hello,
like,
team?
cool. My gut instinct is 100% intact. Feels good, man. Good to know. So, yeah. Just be like, don't sweat. Cold AF in Sydney? Is it really? I mean, it's freezing here, but I'm still sweating. Got cold sweats. Don't recap. Oh, just about like all the games industry stuff that's been going on. That's all. I'm doing much better today. I am, Rice. Thanks for asking. I hope you guys are doing good too, because the past month in particular has just definitely got everyone's wog sweats. Yeah, it's wog sweats, yeah. Someone legitimately on TikTok got offended that I used the word wog, by the way, because they're like, you better be European, otherwise it's like offensive that you use this word. And I'm like, what? You mean the word that literally every European refers to themselves as in school? Chill. Yeah. I'm like, okay. It ain't that kind of word, baby. Or is it? Maybe we should like learn something. Oh, it means okay. Apparently it's an informal offensive term. It is usually employed as an ethnic or racial slur and considered derogatory and offensive. Since when? Since the fuck when, bro? I thought it was a word I'm not allowed to say, but they are. Is it really? Fuck knows, because a social justice warrior offense that no one cares about. It's a racial slur as far as I know? Really? Wog's not acceptable for non-wogs to say. This is the first time I've heard any of this in my 32 years on the planet, given that it was just a word that we used to describe ourselves and our friends who had European backgrounds. That's just what we referred to ourselves as. We just differentiated between Australians and wogs. Yeah, same, Rise. It's used as a slur in the UK. Interesting. My entire life has been a lie. I know, right? It goes to show how much things change from region to region. But I'm glad that I learned something. Dark-skinned foreigner. Well, that's okay. So when I just looked up the definition, it was specifically like in like British, it means person who is not white. But then it was like Australian person who's like from a European background. Like I didn't get full mad at the person on TikTok. I was just like, maybe there's something here I can learn. And we just did a heckin' learn. That's why I just went to look it up. Grew up in Melbourne and parents made sure I knew it wasn't acceptable. Really? What's your background, Mods, then? Out of curiosity. Scottish Aussie. I don't say shit, Matt, because we just did a learn. So if we did a learn that some people find it offensive, then we're not going to use it. Simple as that. That's a whole part of the learning and growing. Yeah. Because, yeah, it really wasn't a thing at all. Not at any point until literally, like, now. It's the first time I've ever, like, heard about that. And, bitch, I'm 32, so ignorance ain't that much bliss, man. Shit. Okay, let me just log in. Oh, actually, before I log in, we should do our insert the more you know give. Yeah. I mean, precisely. That's the thing, right? It's like there's just some shit we don't know sometimes. So, that's why people need to call stuff out instead of being like, wow, that guy's offensive and I don't like it and whatever. Fucking question things, say things. This is why I always say that. Well, that's the thing, like, we think it's not, like, generally speaking, but apparently it is. Apparently it is to some people. And if it's offensive to some people, then we don't want to hurt those people's feelings. As in, come on, mate, then it's perfectly okay. Yeah, right. Interesting. I mean, we would just avoid for the sake of, But I'm glad we learned something today. "100% a slur here." Ah, right. Thanks, Little. See, there's some fucking history there we didn't know. I'm not going to Google this on stream. Right. So it comes from that. Because I didn't even know, like, the name of that character. Got it. That makes sense. That makes so much more sense. There's a difference between oi cunt and oi cunt. Yeah, but like what we just realized is that obviously the word wog is like a shortened term for that. So there's obviously some history there of the word being repurposed, I suppose. Which is why there's different, I think maybe there's two different meanings for it. So like, I think one might be I don't know. That's just what it appears to me from what I'm hearing. Because it sounds like one is like a shorter version of that, of that, referring to those dolls, which makes perfect sense to one of the definitions that I saw. And then it sounds like the other is just like a acronym for like European fellas or something. I mean, both of them can be equally, I mean, one of them is very clearly fucking offensive, obviously. But the other one, I guess, is like more contextual, but can be offensive to some people 100%. So, damn, chat, we doing some fucking learns. Things very different from when I was a kid, for sure. We used to love... Yeah, we were talking about those, like, we were talking about those the other day. Because they renamed them to fads. Because they were very clearly supposed to be like fake cigarettes originally, which have a very different name. Yeah. So voiceover update for this week. Let me just regional context is a thing for sure, but in the more modern world of globalization, yes, exactly. That's what I mean, Little. That's why I'm glad we're having this discussion. So thanks for letting us know that, because I didn't even know that those existed, or like what. I mean, I knew that the dolls existed. I didn't know what the name of them was. But now that I know that, it makes sense. So yeah. Only since coming to Australia that I heard it. Yeah, see? JD, we have never heard in Australia, that word in particular was never used to refer to Black or Asian people here. There were definitely other fucking words that were used for that, but unfortunately. But that's why I didn't know. So it's good to know. Have to admit, I never imagined the secret behind good people being abused in the streaming gaming industry could be this huge. Thought folks would be smarter and better to make the same mistakes as Hollywood. No, oh, Alex, my darling, my love. These problems exist in every industry, honey. Every industry. Every single one. Every single one. It's not just Hollywood. I mean, it can be exacerbated a little in industries where your outward appearance, I suppose, plays a part in things, and like interpersonal relationships and stuff are really significant. But yeah, it's everywhere. People just don't fucking talk about it. Yeah, I know it's 6 p.m, but I'm still working today. Let me just cap off that discussion with just a request to you to be kind to people. Don't assume that you know what people have gone through, because sometimes not even they know until something like this happens. Sorry, my speakers. Either that, or like people have dealt with their previous trauma and things like this bring it back up. People can be in a bit more of a vulnerable position. So just be fucking kind and patient with people. Don't be fucking generalizing and being like, well, if so-and-so didn't do this, then this wouldn't have happened. Fuck that. Just fucking don't. And I would ask that you check in with people who you love and people that you trust, and just check in with each other. Take the opportunity to we flicker in. I think we might be. If we are, it's fine because we're about to go into the video game anyway. But and I can switch to off cam view, but. I just want to say, just check in with each other. Make sure that your friends are cool. That if you have a partner, even just like check in with them really delicately and just say, are you okay? How have your experiences been? Is there anything that you need to talk to me about? Have I ever made you feel uncomfortable? Is there anything that I can do to make you more comfortable in future? Just ask those questions and just have a little bit of that conversation, because it can make such a big difference and strengthen your bond and your trust and all of those things, okay? So go do that. Make sure you do that.